Hi everybody, so I am going to be making a video today about ACL awareness, and based on today's big day. Why I'm doing it on today is because in 2014, which is 6 years ago at this point, 7 years ago at this point, crazy, I was released from my first ACL tear. And then 2 years after that, I tore my other one and had to go through surgery and rehab for that. But I'm going to talk about where I am now and talk about how my knees feel now. And if you enjoy this video, please like it, let me know. Please comment. I'm doing this so I can help other people. So if you have any questions, please fire away. I'm going to start the video off with reading my Instagram captions and showing you the pictures that I posted when I was released on these two separate occasions. So to begin, this is my first post picture, and the caption read, "I am so blessed and so thankful for everyone who supported me the last 7 months and who kept me positive. It's been rough sitting on the bench for the last 6 months during close games, but I've learned so much. I couldn't have done this without these two amazing people and all of you. I'm pretty much speechless. I'm just that happy. Thank you, God, and everyone else who helped me smile when all I wanted to do was cry. I'm so excited for my future, and I'm so ecstatic to play for Bartlett High School and Barrington FCX again. This journey has taught me to never give up even when everything's falling apart. Words cannot describe how blessed and grateful I am. Thank you, everyone." By the way, that was my doctor and his assistant. So I saw them whenever I had to come in to like the doctor's office for my checkups, and he signed my leg, and he's the one that did my surgery. So, and I stuck with him for my second time. So you'll see him and that woman. That's Dr. Ollie and Cheryl, and then I played soccer. I took basketball off because the floor was really hard on my knees, but it was great. I had a really good time. I played on varsity my sophomore year after I was released, and it was it was a lot of fun. I then tore my second ACL, which was my left ACL and meniscus both times. It was ACLs and meniscus. Which is then when I made this, after going through like the therapy and everything, and I knew what to do the second time around, because I was so used to it from the first time. So we knew what drugs to put me on, what drugs to not put me on. We knew what exercises I was good at, bad at, whatever. Which then brought me to this second post. And this second post picture caption was, "The world is not a wish-granting factory." Those words are from my favorite author, John Green. Out of all of the quotes that I could have used with this post, I thought that this one was the most impactful. Obviously, I would not have chosen to tear my ACL meniscus once. Even more blatantly obvious, I would not have chosen to endure the whole surgery and recovery twice. But guess what? It happened. There's nothing that I can do to change the past. Looking back, I always thought, why me? I would see athletes complaining and dreading practice while I always put in the extra effort and worked so much with my dad and different trainers. Sports seemed to be my everything, and getting that taken away 2 times truly proved 5 main points for me in my life. Number 1, nothing is ever as bad as it seems. Number 2, tomorrow holds much better days. Number 3, even if you are stumbling, you're still taking steps in the right direction. Number 4, playing every game like it's your last is the best way to go. And number 5, support systems are important, and through them you will find the people in your life worth keeping. I look at this picture and I am blown away because it was all routine for me. I knew this injury too well, but in turn, I can now be a mentor for other people who go through this, and I can honestly say that I am strong. I've learned that it's okay to give yourself some praise sometimes, because being sad all of the time gets you absolutely nowhere. I am proud of where I started and where I am now, and I can successfully announce that today, April 28th, 2016, I was cleared to play sports again with full contact. The journey seemed all uphill, but I am now able to enjoy the view. So after going through those two posts and those two captions set by me, I think it's important for me to reflect on them, and I agree with everything that I said. I'm very thankful for all the people that were there for me through the process, and I think it's super important when you're going through things that are so hard in your life that I'm going to say that you surround yourself with people that are there to encourage you, but you don't always know everyone's intentions. So if along the way you realize that someone's not actually fully there to support you, you kind of got to kick them to the curb. And you don't have to be disrespectful about that. It doesn't have to be like a big mean thing. You could just literally realize that, like, you're not going to put so much effort into that person anymore, and that's totally okay, especially when you're dealing with something that is already like consuming so much of your energy. So now fast forward to like where we are today in 2021. At this point, I am in college. I am a senior in college. I have played intramural soccer, and I've referenced that a couple times in my previous videos, but I'm still playing, and I'm not playing for my school, like just intramurals, but I still kick the ball around. I still can juggle pretty well. I think the biggest thing here is keeping my flexibility. So aside from just playing soccer, I'm really into Pilates and I'm really into yoga, and I make sure that I am doing what my body needs for my body. So I'm trying to eat really well. I try to drink a lot of water. It's really important that you listen to yourself, whether you are just going through your ACL recovery process, whether you're starting it, finishing it, regardless, it's so important to listen to your body. And all that means is that if you really don't feel like doing something and it's a strong urge, rather than like you're just feeling lazy, there's a difference there. You'll come to find that difference. Push yourself, but don't push yourself to exhaustion. Sleep is also super important. Right now, I'm sleeping 9+ hours every night, and that's, for me, apparently necessary. Please check your sleep, and that will help, I would say, a lot with your recovery, with your mental state, as well as your physical healing of everything. Your body literally heals itself when you sleep. It fights infections, it's constantly repairing, so make sure you give yourself time to do that. In terms of taking care of your legs and kind of like how my legs feel post surgery, and even like to this day, I've gotten a little bit better about it because it's a mental thing, but anything that had to do with working on my hamstrings made me want to cry. Like, actually made me want to cry. Just the thought of doing it and then physically doing it, I felt like I wasn't as strong as I should be. And just being as though like I was a girl playing soccer, like it's really common to have overdeveloped quads and underdeveloped hamstrings. So in addition to them already being underdeveloped, not being able to use them for a couple months and then using them like not nearly as much as I would usually be using my hamstrings, they like got really weak. So obviously I tried my hardest to get them back to where they should be with therapy, and practice and training and everything. But there was like that deficit for a while, and that deficit was a really big mental block. And it was like every time that I tried to not think about the fact that I tore both of my ACLs, that like I'm at like a disadvantage, it was like a reminder of like this thing that happened to me, and I didn't want to be reminded of it. I did not like wearing my brace. I didn't want to be reminded of it. It's something that I not keep to myself. It's something that I use for myself to push myself to be better, to realize that like you have to have strength through adversity. But at the same time, it's not something that I wanted to use as a reason as to why I wasn't as good as I wanted to be. I didn't want someone to look at my injuries and be like, oh, well, this happened to her, so like, let's give her some leeway. Like, I don't want that leeway. I want to keep pushing myself, and I think that's super important. But obviously, in the ways in which it was appropriate for my body, and I was able to do so. Another big thing I would recommend is follow the rules of your athletic trainers. It is really important to listen to what they're saying and what your doctor is saying. If you are not supposed to have contact, if you're not supposed to be walking, if you're not supposed to be doing anything, please don't do it. I know too many girls that tried playing too early, and first game back, they retore it. I didn't re-tear mine. I obviously tore the other one, but it's really important, and I think things went about as well as they did because I did listen to protocols, and I worked hard, and I used my stretching bands. And I know you might not think that stretching only 10 minutes a day every day or every other day makes a big deal, but it does. It makes a huge deal, like the biggest of deals. So I would definitely stick with your stretches, do your at-home stuff. For me, my therapy it started off taking about 30 minutes because I couldn't do much, and then as I could do more, they just added more things, and I was like, I would go to therapy for 2 hours, physical therapy, and I was just, it felt exhausting. Like, it's so hard to like mentally get over what's going on while other people are like getting scholarships and I'm just trying to walk again. It's really hard, but you need to remind yourself that you shouldn't compare yourself to anybody else because that's a dangerous game. You just need to focus on where you were at yesterday and where you're at today and what you can do to be where you want to be tomorrow. I think with all of that being said, I don't want to keep this video too long. Depending on the attention this gets, I would love to make another one. But the biggest thing that I can preach to you is that you need to follow up with yourself and make sure you're stretching and sleeping. And as long as you do those things, I think that your recovery should go pretty well. And like I said, surrounding yourself with people that are going to be there for you at the end of the day, and you'll find out who those people are, and it's important, and that's okay. Sometimes it's not always the people we want it to be, but that's life. And then I really would just like my takeaway message to be, you define who you want to be. You define where you're going to go. It's not up to anyone else. People can tell you what to do for your workouts, but you have to physically do them. And people, I don't know if you've heard the saying, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You have to be your person. You have to be the one to push yourself, and you've got to want it for yourself. You can't want it for anyone else. No one else can want it for you, or they can, but that's not going to do much. You've got to be yourself for you. And in my second post, I said, like, I'm proud of where I am, and it's okay to give myself praise. Like, I am ecstatic that I continued playing sports. It would have been so easy the first time or the second time to just say, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. But obviously, it was a big part of my life, and I didn't want to give it up. And through that, I learned a lot about my mental toughness. And I think that that kind of pulled me into where I am today, about with my meditation, about with my body check-ins, my Pilates, my yoga. I think it's really important, and I can't stress how important it is to make sure that you're all in tune with how you feel with like your head, your headspace, your mind, your body. It's all one. And once it's all interconnected, I think that'll go a really long way with your sports, and that'll also go a long way with your life. I hope that you all found this video maybe slightly helpful, or maybe like slightly uplifting. I just want to let you all know that it's going to be okay. And I know it might not seem okay now, but there are better days, and things will get better as long as you continue to push yourself and be hopeful. Hope is a very big attribute in people accomplishing really great things. But yeah, so thanks for checking in, and I might make another video about this. I'm not really sure, but we'll see. Thanks for watching. Bye.